What is up, everyone? My name is OJ, and welcome to the Village of PlayerEssence, where all of you PE ninjas can come to get your latest gaming and Nintendo Switch news. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the big news that has everyone talking is that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will be getting an expansion pass in addition to DLC. So let's go ahead and get into the details first, and then I'll give you guys my opinion on the matter. So here we go. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's first DLC pack launches this summer. It will launch for $19.99, and you'll receive 3 new treasure chests that can be found on the Great Plateau. One contains a shirt with the Nintendo Switch logo that Link can wear, exclusive to the expansion pass. Nintendo says that the other 2 will deliver useful items. When it comes to the chest that you'll get, now that is just a bonus for actually buying or pre-ordering the expansion pass. Now the actual content, as far as the meat and potatoes, will come in the DLC Pack 1 and DLC Pack 2, okay? So the first DLC pack will launch this summer with the expansion pass for $20 that you paid, and it'll come with a Cave of the Trials challenge. In addition to that, a new hard mode, okay, and a new feature for an in-game map. So it's coming with an additional hard mode, a Cave of the Trials challenge, so a whole new different thing that you can probably go through. I don't know how many hours it'll take. We don't know the details on it. And a new feature for the in-game map. Not sure what that will be either. Now, the second pack will follow in the holiday, and that DLC will add new challenges that will let players enjoy a new dungeon and a new original story. Nintendo has also talked about the expansion pass will be available for both the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch versions of the game, and additionally the packs cannot be purchased separately. If you want everything, you just kind of get everything in one go. It's going to be $20 for that. Nintendo also released a short video with Anuma-san, and they had this to say on the matter. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Nintendo Switch and Wii U consoles is one of the largest, most engaging video games Nintendo has ever created. While the main game offers players an engrossing quest that will keep them entertained for hours, as well as the freedom to explore the vast Hyrule at their own pace, the game world provides a rich canvas that offers the opportunity for additional adventures. As a result, the first ever downloadable content for the mainline Legend of Zelda series is in development. And you can also watch the video with Anuma-san in the description below. But I want to talk about this because a lot of people seem to be mad. And like I said, there were bigger YouTubers mad, there were small. There were all sorts of opinions all over the place. Some of my own subscribers telling me that Nintendo is somehow cutting content to add in this downloadable pass, which is scratches my head because the content isn't coming right after at launch. It's going to take a while. So just to give you guys a little background on how game development works, because a lot of people don't know. Once a game goes gold, because Nintendo actually had their gold party for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the development has stopped. They've pretty much cut off everything, and new content or anything else that they haven't finished or anything just can't be put in the game. They've cut it off. They need to get it out for launch. So the game has went gold. They feel that it's complete. They put everything that they need to put in there. Everything that they've had to do as far as QA testing, bug testing, all of that is complete, so the game is done. Now, that doesn't mean that the developers stop working or are done with the game. After that gold period, you can create DLC to where you can release, okay? And some people don't understand the difference. They think that a lot of content that developers are working on, all of it needs to be in the game. But if you do all that and you keep on adding ideas, the game is never going to be gold, because every single bit that you put in, you have to test. So at some point, Nintendo has to cut it off and go with what they're going with. Now, if you have the thoughts in your mind that you're going to do DLC the whole time, then yeah, you probably have some ideas. But the best thing to do and the best practice, which Nintendo's usually good at, is making sure that they have a full story, tons of stuff to do. Everything's packed into there for the main game. And if you have any extra ideas, then cool, release it as DLC. And based on everything that we know about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Switch, this game is massive. This game packs tons of challenges, packs tons of different areas to go, has multiple different endings right there, and heck, you can even go straight to the ending from the very beginning of the game. So there's plenty of stuff to do, and there's plenty of content. I don't think anyone is going to be hurting for content in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. One of the big issues that I've had with Nintendo, especially during the Wii days, was the fact that their games did not have anything else to do after you were done. If you beat everything, there was no downloadable content, there was no expansion, and Nintendo would take so long for the next game to release. It would take a long time before we get that next installment and we get our next fix. Yes, they have a lot of games that pack content, but it's always, for me, I always like getting games. If I really love them, I always want to see a little bit more. And based on what they've showed off here with the DLC Pack 1 and the DLC Pack 2, this looks like it's going to be some pretty freaking nice content, especially DLC Pack 2. Now, it's not ready, but it's going to have a whole new original story in addition to a new dungeon. So, to me, that shows a lot of content in there. If you're looking at both of these DLC packs, I really don't see what the problem is. Some people had a problem with them announcing it before the game was released, but I don't really think it matters. I think that's semantics. Whether they announce it before the game launches or they announce it 2 weeks after it launches, what does it even matter? To be honest, that doesn't change the time that they were working on it. Resident Evil 7 had DLC announced like right after it launched, and they already released the DLC. So to me, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that you get your game out and it has enough content to satisfy that $60 purchase, because I was a big purchaser of DLC on various other consoles, from Fallout, purchased all that DLC, Fallout 3, Mass Effect, I always purchased all the content on there. So just as long as the content is quality and just as long as it's not too expensive, I'm actually completely happy with it. And to me, this seems like it's going to be very good quality content. We're getting a brand new original story in addition to a new dungeon. Plus, we're getting an additional hard mode, in-game map, and another Cave of the Trials challenge. So to me, that's going to be like worthwhile content that I'm going to want to play through, especially the story content. So I really don't see too much of a problem with it. And I've purchased DLC that's very similar, that's priced a little bit more or priced just about the same on other consoles. So I understand that some people might be upset, but it seems like the people that are upset just don't want anyone else to enjoy DLC at all, or they just don't feel that DLC should be made at all. They'd rather not have any DLC than have the same game that's complete and finished with DLC. It seems like some people don't even want DLC at all, so they don't want anyone to experience DLC because they don't want to buy DLC, which is weird. I always thought that was a weird thing, because everyone before this was announced, everyone said that the game is amazing and it's complete and it looks good, and all of a sudden when DLC is announced, all of a sudden it's not amazing, and no, they're cutting content, but you just said the content was there and good beforehand. So I don't really understand the thought process behind that. Once the game is finished, it's gold, definitely you can work on content, and it's not coming out right after launch. It's coming out in the summer, and it's coming out in the fall. There's still time. They still need to develop it. It's definitely not finished at this point. That's why they're being kind of vague on the matter. So, like I said, I can understand why some people might be upset, but at the same time, I don't really get it when it comes down to the complaints, just because to me, it seems like it's going to be great content that we've seen in stuff like Mass Effect with their story DLC, and I purchased that, or stuff like Fallout and their DLC that they charged $9.99 for. To me, it doesn't seem any different, and it seems like it's going to be good. Plus, the main game has tons of content. It's going to be a huge open world, great, vast, expansive stuff to do in the game. Hundreds of challenges already packed right there on the cartridge. So I'm okay with it. I know some of you guys aren't, but some of the stuff that I've seen from people has been quite crazy, like they're cutting content, which is not the case at all. Nintendo is charging for chests like Candy Crush. I saw one person say that. So apparently some Nintendo fans don't know the difference between microtransactions and DLC purchases, because microtransactions is what Candy Crush does, whereas this isn't microtransactions. This is a one-time purchase and you get everything, and that's that. Microtransactions are like, you purchase like whatever and it like just keeps on going. You can just keep on purchasing, like Fire Emblem with orbs. That's a microtransaction. So some people were trying to compare it to a mobile game with microtransactions, which is not the case at all. So I mean, people have various complaints, but let me tell you something about this DLC. No matter how you feel on it, and once again, I'm not hating on you. If you feel on it one way, that's completely cool. You can feel on it one way. I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel that way, or I'm not saying that you don't have a right to feel that way. That's fine. You feel whatever you feel. You're your own person. But at the same time, I guarantee you, when they show off this DLC, like the story DLC and how it looks and everything, people are going to be doing an about face. People are going to completely change their tune when they show off this DLC, because one of the things I know Smash Brothers, some people were upset about DLC, and they showed off DLC for that game before it was launched too. Mewtwo was revealed and showed off before it launched as well. So that's one thing, that something that's going to happen in the gaming industry, and as long as it's good content, like Mass Effect usually had some really good content, I'm happy and I'll pay for it. If the content's not good, then you don't have to buy it. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has more than enough content in there, so if you don't feel that it's worth the money, then just don't buy it, because I think that the game already has enough content in there that you don't need it. if the people that want to experience it, let them experience it. If you don't want to, then just play the main game and it'll be wrapped up. This is a new original story according to them, so it's not going to be integral to facing what's going to happen at the end of this game, because it will be new and original. It's not going to build off of something else. It's going to be original. That's my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys for the next video. Peace!